Frank, I can hear someone's voice. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's special show. I'm Joshua Amatare, your host, coming to you live from Kyiv, Ukraine. It's good to have you back here with us. And I'm sure we're going to have a great time. You can be sure that you're going to learn a lot. We're going to be discussing a very unique topic with an author all the way from the United States. His latest book titled 10 Wrong Reasons to Go to School. And I can assure you that your life is not going to remain the same when you're done listening to the things we have to say today. Now, the concept of school is something, or education is something that a lot of people misunderstand. It's something that a lot of people have not really come to terms with when it comes to thinking about the process and why it's necessary and why it's genuinely needed. And we find that when people do things for the wrong reasons, they hardly get the results that they want. They always end up frustrated. They always end up in debt. They always end up, disenfranchised and disillusioned about the decisions that they made. So today we're going to be talking about the genuine reasons why you should go to school and the 10 some reasons why this school process has not really served a lot of people very well. Of course, we're talking to mostly Africans at this time, and I'm sure a lot of people in Africa are saying, I just want an opportunity to go to school. So this book is going to help you have a genuine reason and a purpose so that when you go to school, you can maximize the opportunity. You wouldn't have to struggle. You wouldn't have to, just do it because you've been told to go to school and it's the norm, but you do it with a purpose. And I believe that at the end of today, you're going to be enlightened and filled with a lot of knowledge that will empower you to be a more effective person. All right. Please share this link on your wall. Send it through your inbox to your friends and your family members. We genuinely want you to be with us here today till the very end. And I believe that you would have such a wonderful time that you would not regret joining us today. So without much further ado, please welcome our guest today, all the way from the United States, Frank Mbedja. Hello, Frank. Welcome.
Hello, Pastor. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's good having you back on the show again. I can see that you've written your second book titled 10 Wrong Reasons to Go to School. So congratulations on the launch of your book.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you so much.
All right. So how are you doing in America today?
Oh, nothing much. We are okay. Just like it seems like we just have our 46th president, who is Joe Biden. So
right.
I hope he's gonna keep his promises and keep what he says he's gonna do for American people. So we just can't wait to see what he's gonna do.
Okay. Well, America might be changing their president. So congratulations to you guys. It's still quite a rough one, and it looks like some of the decisions might go to the courts. So let's see what happens. All right. So I always tell people that for you not to get consumed with the issues of the world and feel distressed, you should focus on things that you can control. And you have controlled and made use of your time so judiciously to come up with this book. So let's start from the title. Can you tell us why you came up with the title of 10 Wrong Reasons to Go to School? What brought that topic to your mind? Why did you feel the need to write about such a thing?
Thank you so much, Pastor, for the question. Actually, I came up with this title that you can see 10 Wrong Reasons to Go to School, based on the personal experience, right? And not only personal experience, but based on the different testimony and experience I had to share with friends and family who went to school. And we understood that actually after spending a lot of time in school, going to college, university, all of that, having degree, all those kind of stuff, at the end of the day, we don't really have the result that we were expected. When we go to school, usually society and even the school system make us understand that at the end of that process, going through that process, we have the opportunity to have a job. So everybody, most of the time, go to school to have a better job. But at the end of the day, we discover that promise is not actually delivered. And most of us, we feel frustrated, not only in Africa, I think all over the world. You will see young people who have degree who went to university, to college, but they are just like. And I decided to make a research to find out that's not the whole reason, but they are just some of them I can easily relate to, right?
Okay.
And I decided to put them on um, on the form of in the form of a book, so that I can
Okay.
share that with everybody. Yeah.
All right, that's great. I think it's an amazing thing when you can put your thoughts into books and you can do research and try to come up with solutions to problems. So I believe
Yeah.
that you've done a very good job with this book. I read it. It was very illuminating. It was very eye-opening. And I think every single person needs to get this book for themselves. If you want to be a parent for yourself, if you have kids, the earlier they read this book, the better. Because if you're just sending your kids to school without giving them a reason and a purpose behind why they should be in school, they will end up frustrated, like we're going to be finding out today. So it's important to get this book. It's now available on Amazon. You can go to amazon.com right now, just type in the title, and you'll be able to buy this book right now as we speak. It's very cheap. It's not something that is going to cost you a lot, but I can assure you that the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that you're going to get from this book will save you tens of thousands of dollars. And I can tell you from the statistics that Frank found, which he's going to be talking to us about, a lot of people are in debt today and they don't even know how to pay it off because they went into school with the wrong reasons. All right,
Yeah.
Frank, there is a subtitle under the main title. Can you talk to us about that?
Why I hate school but love education.
Yes, why I hate
Usually,
school but love education. Yeah, talk to us about that.
yeah, actually, sometimes people misunderstand school and education.
Yeah.
Education, we can acquire education everywhere. We can acquire education in society, in our home, in church. But school is just one of the place where we acquire a certain type of education, right?
All right.
But I just understood that the best education you can have is the one you look for intentionally and for yourself.
Okay.
The one we have in school is not necessarily bad, but I believe that the system built around that the system built, the school system built to transfer that kind of education is kind of, I can say it's not really helping. Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's too conventional and it's too
exactly,
one-sided.
exactly.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. So that means that it's possible for you to get education, which is getting knowledge, right?
Yeah,
Outside
yeah.
of the school. But then
Exactly.
when you're in school, it's completely different because in school, you're tailor-made to do just a specific set of activities, study specific subjects and things like that, correct?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
that
Like,
means you're telling us through this book, or one of the things you're trying to pass across through this book is you prefer learning
the-
all throughout
that's
life and going about learning than just sitting in class and just focusing
exactly.
on one thing alone, correct?
Exactly, because I discovered that actually most of some of the most important skills that we need in our daily life are not actually taught in school,
All right.
right? Yeah, and if we try to see a little bit in our world today, some of the, like, a lot of successful people
Yeah.
are not actually people who went to school. Even if they went to school, some of them finally dropped out from school.
All right.
Why? Because they understood that the the school system was not really uh, 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 um, was not really good
Made.
for them. Yeah, yeah, for them. So I strongly believe that education and school is not really something that really match
Goes
together when you
together.
don't, yeah, when you don't have the right mindset. You
All right.
can use education in the school system if you decided to go there intentionally. If you really have a purpose going there, yeah,
Okay.
then it's something that can help you. But if you go there just because you follow the rule, you go because everybody is going, all those kind of stuff, at the end of the day you might be crying like a lot of people are crying right now.
Wow. Okay. So for those that don't know who our guest is, he's Frank, and you can find him on his Facebook page by his name, and he's from Cameroon. So those of you who want to connect with him, please make sure that you do that so that you can get the book over to yourself if you want it. Probably you're in the US or if you're in Africa. Do we have this copy of the book in French yet?
Oh, not yet, sir. Not
Oh,
yet.
not yet. Okay, no
We are
problem. So
working on
those
it.
of you who don't speak English, well, talk to Frank. He's francophone. I don't know why he has not made your own, available yet, but I believe that it's coming. It's coming
Yeah.
soon. All right. So please talk to us about some of these wrong reasons why people go to school, because I'm sure that a lot of people who are listening to you right now, they'll say, "Oh, because he's in America, he has the opportunity to say these things," and there are a lot of people suffering back at home who don't have this so-called school that he's talking about. So can you please enlighten us as to some of the wrong reasons that you have found why people go to school and why it ends up not being productive?
I'm going to talk about one wrong reason, right? And I believe all of us can relate to. All of
All
us,
right.
yeah, can relate to. Either in Africa or here in the US, I've met a lot of people who decide to go to school because they want to have a degree for a degree for a better job. That's one of the wrong reason why most young people they go to school. I remember one day, the last time when I went back home from Europe, and I've met a lot of young people, and most of them had degree. Most of them have master, bachelor degree. They are really smart. And as I was talking to them, they were just complaining, what is going on? I can't work. I don't have work. I'm just every day I'm just trying to manage. My parents invest a lot of money in my school. I went to university. I did this. I did that, but I can't find work. I left Africa. I came here to the US. I thought something would be different. No, it's not actually true. It's not actually true. Here in the US as well, there are some people, for example, in my workplace, I work with one lady. She went to university here in the US. She had a bachelor degree, but she can't work with her bachelor degree here in the US. I just try to make that so that people will understand that it's not about the geographical location. It's all about the mindset. Why you decide to go to school. So I understood that going to school to get a degree and to have a better job is one of the, like, it's not a good reason at all. If you see statistics, if you are from Africa, for example, you can know from, if you live in Nigeria, Ghana, all those kind of countries, or even in your own family, you know people who went to school, they have all those degrees. They're just there on their wall or in their on their closet, all of that. They have it with them. But does that degree really help them feed their family? Do they achieve what they have to achieve in this world with that degree? Or the job the job they're actually doing right now, is it does is it on the same level of the degree with the degree they have? In my country, for example, when people want to work for the government so bad that when the government launch, for example, they
An
want, for example, to
initiative.
to hire people, for example, to work in the government. They will say, for example, we want people who have, for example, the high school diploma level, and we want we have 1,000 available seat, 1,000 available position.
Yeah.
You will see people who have bachelor degrees, people who have master degree, go all the way down to apply to a job, to a high school degree position. Why? Just because they understood that the degree they hold in their hand, don't serve them, don't give them what they need, they don't really use it. So when I kind of discover all of that, look all of that, I understood that, man, if somebody really want to go to school and you want to go to school for a degree, you better think twice again. You better sit with yourself and ask yourself, is that thing really going to help me at the end of the day?
Okay,
Yeah.
now a typical African, or even an American will tell you that I believed that what I was going to study would get me a good job and will make me to be able to earn a living, have a comfortable life, have a family, and just live my life in peace and in prosperity. But it turned out not to be so. And those in Africa too will tell you the same thing. In fact, those in Africa will go a step further and they will say that it's because of the lack of opportunities. They will tell you that we need more jobs. We don't have the opportunities to exercise the knowledge that we got in school, and that is why we don't have these degrees. So what will you say to people like that?
It's really simple. Like, first of all, before even trying, sometimes people choose not only go to school because they want a degree, but they choose a program that really doesn't fit with their community need. For example, why one of the reasons I really hate the school system is that in my country, where I'm sure that most of African country, when you see the school system, you can understand that school system doesn't really match with African problem or with African needs. That's why some people, for example, I have nothing against people who go, for example, to school to study something like geography, history, all those kind of stuff. If you live in a developing country, I strongly believe that if you focus yourself on, if you go to school, like studying some stuff that will help you develop your country, if I can say like that. Some stuff like every country get developed based on industry, economy, all those kind of stuff. If you decide to choose, for example, to study based on the need on your in your society, I strongly believe that it doesn't matter if you find a job at the end of the day, you will be able to find something that you can solve, some problems that you can solve with the skill you get. But the problem is that most people go to school, choose the wrong program, and those programs at the end of the day are don't really needed in our current society. Let's come a little bit in the US. Most of the people right now, some people study stuff like accounting. People study like there are some those kind of program. But when you see in the next 10, 20 years, those things will no more be available. Why? Because all of that will be replaced by robot, by automatic system, all those kind of stuff. And if right now you send your child or your children to go to study this thing, after some time it will not more be relevant in our current society, because the society is moving forward and some stuff have been replaced by everything. So that's why I would have just said to those people, if you really want to go to school, if you really decided, if you can see opportunity right now in your society, that means that somehow maybe the skill you acquired doesn't meet a need in your community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope those of you who are listening can hear that it's not about your degree, it's about the need that you're meeting. It's about the solution that you're bringing to your community. And I believe that those people or people who go after education in the process of looking for solutions to problems that they face daily in their communities will not really lack jobs, because even if you don't get employed, you find a way to become self-employed so that you can do the things that you want to do. All right. So Frank, you said that one of the reasons why you saw that people go to school, which is wrong, is to get a better job. So why should people go to school if you can see that getting a better job is not a reason to go to school? So give us one reason why, the opposite of it, why they should go to school.
Okay. First of all, I would say that those things, I would like this thing to start from the family, from home. Like, parents should start training their kids even before they go to school. Start giving them a new mindset. What is the mindset I would like them to give to their kids? It's like they go to school. If they have to go to school, is to solve a problem.
Sorry, let me cut you off there for a second. When you say go to school, you mean university, right?
Yeah.
So that means the rudimentary of nursery, primary, and secondary school or high school, like they say in the West. All of those things are compulsory for everybody, because they will give you the foundation of reading, writing, arithmetic, and just basic quantitative stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what we're talking about today, so that people who are listening don't misunderstand us, we're not talking about the basics of
Yeah.
education, which is primary and secondary. We're talking about when you want to get into the university and specialize on a particular course. It turns
Yeah.
out that you spend a lot more money, and at that
Yeah.
time it's a lot more intense. That's when your
Yeah.
life really begins, when you get into the university, because you're now deciding what you're going to do with the rest of your life most of the time. So that's what we're focused on. We're not
Yeah.
focused on those going to the primary and the secondary
Yeah.
school. In
Yeah.
fact, those going to the primary and secondary school need to read this book because it will help inform them on how to go about picking what they're going to do when they want to get into the university. All right, so
Yeah.
please go ahead. I just needed to
Uh,
add that to the discourse.
yeah, thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Yeah, like as I was saying, parents should start to train their children, like give them that mindset that actually, if they decided to do anything in life, they should have that mindset that they are problem solver.
All
So
right.
if you decide to go to school for your purpose. If in this book, even I kind of give some key, some tip that every student, like if you are in the last um, 12th grade, I think so, before going to university,
Yeah.
there is some stuff that you should do before jumping into university. What some of those stuff are find your purpose. Now, when you discover your purpose, your why of you being here, your why of you being on this planet and this particular time, now you can decide to go to school based on that thing. For example, it has been shown by I forgot that thing. The one of American education, that 80% of students in university change their program 3 times before they graduate.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 times before they
So
graduate.
they change their majors three
Their
times.
major
So
three
somebody
times.
gets in and say, I want to become a chemical engineer. Then they change it
Exactly.
to, I want to become an actress. Then probably
Uh-huh.
they now change it to, I want to become a lawyer or something.
Exactly. And
Wow.
actually, some of them don't actually finish, don't actually graduate because they change so much program. At the end of the day, they don't graduate. Why? Because they didn't answer the question, why am I here?
Wow.
Right? So when you discover your purpose, when you discover why God sent you on this planet, when you discover what problem you want to solve, now you can decide. Because sometimes people think that I'm against school, I'm against all of that. No, I'm not. School is one of the places where you will be able to get some of the skill that will help you in your society, right? But when you go there with a purpose already, you choose. It's easy for you to choose the right program and to follow through. That's one thing. You should go to school for your purpose. And when you go to school with your purpose, the second thing you should do, you should go to school with the mindset of solving a problem. Why? Because usually school system make us understand that, as I say in the beginning, when we start, at the end of the day, we have to go somewhere to apply to get a job, right? To work for somebody or something like that. It is. I don't totally agree with that. Even though some people prefer that, because to work or by yourself, to do something on your own, you really need a lot of courage, a lot of sacrifice. That's why some people prefer just follow through like the conventional system and do what they do. But I would like everybody to be exposed to that when you go to school, you should have the mindset that you are there to get the skill to solve a particular problem. And even if you finish with your school and you can work for somebody, if I can say that like that, you will have the you will have the necessary skills to be on your own, to face what you have to face, to solve the problem that you have to solve. So one of the reasons why I can say people should go to school, you should go to school for your purpose. And I give in this book some tip how to discover your purpose before going to university, before choosing your program. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So that means no child or no one should go to school before they figure out what it is that their purpose is.
Yeah.
Now, funny enough, there are a lot of people in North America and Europe especially who do that, but they don't go to discover their purpose. They just say, oh, when I finish high school, I want to travel. and I want to see the world. And when I come back, then I can go to university. But they don't realize that what it is that they're looking for out there, as good as traveling is within them. And they're supposed to find out what's on the inside of them first before they begin to try to explore the world that is there on the
Yeah.
outside of them. There's something that you said in your book that I found very interesting, and you talked about how the school system destroys creativity. And you talked about your nephew and how he influenced the way you think. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit of that story, and then tell us how to prevent ourselves from falling into that same trap. Because what we have today are a lot of educated robots, people who have gone to school, but they lack creativity, they lack the understanding of how to solve problems. And it's supposed to be the other way around. You look at the
Yeah.
society and you're like, you went to school, you're supposed to be able to do this, that, and the other, but these people are not able to keep up. So talk to us about how the school system might become a negative thing in the lives of people and how they can solve that problem as regards creativity.
Oh yeah. Actually, I remember that day. I was outside. I was in our in Africa. We can't just call it backyard, but we were just there sitting outside with my nephew, and it was kind of 7 p.m. already. Like, yeah, 7 p.m. And we're kind of chilling a little bit outside, and he looked at the moon, and he asked me a very interesting question. I say. Because they call me Donald at home. He said, Donald, tell me something. I said, yeah, what is going on? He said, does the moon has
A light switch.
a light switch? I said, does the moon have what? He said, a light switch. I said, no, the moon doesn't have the light switch because if you see that in the days, because the planet like is like rotating. That's why there's day and night, day and night. But I knew that the answer I gave him was not satisfying for him, right? To him. And that thing got me thinking. And I understood that if you spend time with kids, you will understand that they are really creative. Like they have that creativity ability that's just astonished. It's easy. One of some I don't remember the guy, the person who said that. He says sometimes when he has one of the hardest problem he's going through, he go look for a kid to help him find a solution. Because a kid we think outside the box. It will not make any kind of barrier
Or
in his mind,
restrictions.
or
Yeah.
restriction, yeah, in his mind. So he really see the thing. He give himself the ability to see the problem in like all angle. So, and right now, the same nephew who graduated from high school already, the only thing he has in his mind now is where he gonna work to be able to have $100 a month. And that thing kind of breaks my heart a little bit because it's not only his story. You will see a lot of people who are brilliant when they are kids, but once they go through the educational process,
Or so-called school
the
system.
school system, it's like all those things has been taken away. The pressure of society, the bills that they have to pay, sometimes the student loan that they have to pay back, sometimes the family who say like you have to get married, or those kind of stuff. Like they bury all that creativity under all those kind of pressure. At the end of the day, they are just like robots. And that's why some of the greatest mind of this people on this planet, like people like Mark Zuckerberg, people like Bill Gates, all those kind, they discover that they have to quit. They have to just drop. They have to drop out from school because school was not for them. School didn't give them what they needed. School didn't give. Their mind was so open. Like school was kind of trying to put restriction on it. That's why most of them has to drop. So based on that, I understood that, man, school, if you are not really smart, if you are not really intentional, at the end of the day, you will enter to school, you will start school as a human being, but at the end of the day, when you finish, you are just like a robot who is just ready to go and do a conventional or work anywhere else. Yeah.
Just to collect some pay and survive.
Some payers, yeah. Yeah.
So that means that we have to fight every single day to make sure that we keep our creativity, we keep our sense of wonder and adventure no matter what we do, or else we'll lose it in the so-called school system while we're trying to earn a living in the world. That's great, because I feel like that's what we need in Africa. We need people who are creative. We need people who are original. We need people who are problem solvers. We don't want people who just go into school to come out and just follow the status quo, just follow the same corrupt system that they found, and they're not able to change anything. Because I feel like the very essence of education is to help you to question things. I think DSA has taught us this before. He says that the very essence of education is to be able to question things, to ask what, and then to be able to go into research and find solutions that can be applied to solve those problems. But sadly, that's not where we are today. And I feel like, that's why I feel like this book should be compulsory reading for every high school student in Africa. Because if at all, just, let me say 50% is way too high. 25% of young people in Africa, if they can read this book and get the message in it, I believe our continent will be completely transformed. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah. Actually, that what you are saying is true. What you are saying is true. The thing that young people in Africa sometimes I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because I don't want them to think that I talk like I speak like that because I'm in the West. No, I just want us to understand that actually the fact that we are in Africa, where Africa is a place where there is still a lot of stuff to do. There's still a lot of stuff to create. There's still a lot of stuff to come up with. So as young people, if we have the right mindset, if we have the creativity mindset, if we have if we have the creative mindset, if we have the mindset of problem solving, I strongly believe that we will be able to make Africa a better place.
I think so too. Now, when it comes to education that happens outside of the school, what are some of the things that you think people should be conscious about? Because most people in Africa believe, or most people in the world believe, that school or education ends in the school. It ends within the four walls. So as soon as they graduate, they throw their hats in the air, they go to parties, they do their prom dates or whatever it is that they do, and then they're off to go live their lives in the world. So what message will you have for people when it comes to education and school, and the fact that it does not end in school, like you point out in your book?
80% statistics show, research to that 80%, usually new student graduate forget 80% of what they learn, of what they've learned after they graduate. After they graduate.
80%.
Yeah. And there is this thing, there's this story I read, and it's someone who makes some research about what is their name again? Doctors, medical doctor.
Yeah.
Like after their graduation, most of them don't read one single book about medicine anymore.
Wow.
Some of them we say, oh, because we are busy with work, all of that. But I want us to understand this, that if you really want to be effective in this life, if you really want to be productive in this life, you should not restrain your education to what you study in school. And one of the things that I discovered here in the US, for example, on that side, at least they give opportunity to students. Why? Because most of the things, especially with coronavirus right now, that everything is online. 90, I can say 80% or even 90% of the work is done by the student. Like you have to work by yourself, and this thing gives you the ability to go beyond what the teacher gives you, beyond what the lecturer gives you. That's just one aspect. Another aspect is this: everybody, either you are in school or you graduated from school already, or you are about to start working, I think you should keep learning every day, because we live in a world that is always
Evolving, changing,
evolving, changing,
moving
yeah,
forward.
moving forward. And if you are not always, if you are not cautioned, you will live, you will be an old person in a new world. You will still stuff that you learned 5 years ago will no more be relevant in our current day. Or right now, there are people who prepare themselves for 20 years from now, 25 years from now, 15 years from now. Why? Because they understood that the world is evolving. And as the world is evolving, knowledge evolving, knowledge change, everything change. And you, as a human being, as a person living in the midst of that society, you should not be stay. You should not stay on the statu quo.
Yeah, don't be
Yeah,
stagnant.
yeah. You should keep moving, keep moving, keep learning, keep learning. Not only learning everything, but you should have at least, you should keep learning the subject or the program that match with your purpose if you know what it is. That's why most of the people who discover why they are here on this planet, who discover what they want to do with their life, people who are intentional, they pick intentionally what they have to learn, and they keep learning every day. Like in this life, if I can land like this, if you want to go forward, you should stay, you should remain an eternal, if I can say that, eternal learner. You should be a learner, a student forever, for life till you die. Yeah.
So that means education does not stop, if no matter how many years passes after you leave school.
Yeah, school stop, but education is till you leave this earth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a quote that everybody should bear in mind. School would stop because there's a stipulated amount of time that you're supposed to spend there, even if you're a professor. But education is a lifelong process that should not end till you leave this world. I think I remember the story of Theodore Roosevelt, one of the best and greatest presidents of America, how they said he read every night, and up until when he died in his sleep, he still had a book under his pillow because it was a constant habit of his. So I believe that people who educate themselves constantly, they are the ones who end up creating solutions, leading the world, and really bringing about change. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please share this link on your wall, share it with your friends, because this is something that would help them realize that just going to the university or going to college or institutes of higher learning is not enough if you don't understand, first of all, your purpose, if you don't understand why you're going, if you don't understand the problem that you're trying to gain skills to solve, that you're trying to develop yourself to solve, you're going to end up in debt, you're going to end up frustrated and disillusioned. During this last election cycle, I think you might have seen that lady. There was a lady who was protesting, and she had a board up in front of her, and she said that she has about $200,000 in student debt, and she said she was jobless. I was shocked. I said, wow, what degrees did you have that made you to be in debt for $200,000? But after I read your book, Frank, I think I began to understand why so many people go to school, why they spend a lot of time and money in the universities and they graduate with nothing to show for it. So you don't want to end up in such a place. And in Africa as well, I was listening to one of the richest men in the country, and he said something. He said, many of the people who come to me as graduates, they are not employable. He said they don't have skills that we need.
Yeah.
It's like when they come to us, it's like they've not even been to school at all. And I remember DSA saying the same thing. And he said most of these people don't have skills. He said having a certificate is not what makes you educated. It's the skills you have. It's the ability to think. It's the ability to create that makes you educated. And he said that makes a lot of people in Nigeria to be hopeless. Because you can claim all you want that I have a first-class degree, I have a second-class upper degree, I've graduated from the university, and you're so proud of yourself, but you cannot solve any problem. And that's one of the issues that we have. What do you have to say about that, Frank?
Yeah, actually, the company that we call, most of us, we know, Google.
Yeah.
Google decided that right now they're not going to hire people who have degree anymore. They are looking for skills.
All right.
They are looking for skill. And I agree with what you say, that one of the richest men in the country said that some people have degree but don't have skill. And actually, that's true. You will see some people, They have all this degree, bachelor degree, master degree. They are proud of themselves, all of that, but they can't actually defend the degree they are holding, right? So you will
You've
see
forgotten
someone.
80% of it. How will you defend
Exactly,
it?
exactly. You will sit and talk with someone, and the person will tell you that I went to this school, I have this degree, I have that degree, and you question yourself like, man, you are just a waste of time. You just waste your time in that school. I believe that uh, one of the main concern, one of the thing, I was watching one video of one Ghanaian guy, I forgot his name, where he was giving a speech in in one university in Ghana, and he was telling to all those academical people, all those students, that most of the degree you receive right now, you can't work in my company. Why? Because you have those paper, you have those certificates, but none of you have skills. You have that, but what can you do? What can you do with what you have? What kind of problem do you want to solve? I have my company right now. It's a 1 million, it's a million US dollar company. I want it to go, for example, in the next 5 years to be a 10 million US dollar company. How can you help me go from point B, from point A to that point B? How can you do that? The how question is one of the hardest questions most students can answer with their degree. Yeah, and I strongly believe that if uh, 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 we go to school with that, we not to look for degree but skills, you can become anything. Right now in the US, for example, I believe it's something that take all over the place right now. Most people, like, they have this training program, seminar, conference, all of that. A lot of people go there. They don't go there to look for degree. They don't go to school. They don't go to university. But when they come there, they come out from there, they have not only the certificate, but they have the skills. Like, they know that they can use it to solve a particular problem.
They can actually
Yeah,
do something.
do something with that. Yeah, they can actually do something with that. Yeah, and that's what most people should do. If you see that going to university or to college will not be a good thing for you, that's fine. You don't really need to go there if you want to be successful in life. But if you go after a particular skill that you know is going to help you solve a particular problem, then go for it. Look for skill, not really for go for skill, not really for degree. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think they should be teaching kids these things in high school, telling them go for skill, not for degree. It's what
Yeah.
you know that matters, not what's written on your certificate.
And,
Because
yeah.
most people just love their certificates. That's why they put it like a frame on the wall, and they use it to brag about where they've gone to and what they have. And it's now more of a status thing. When I was reading your book, I was laughing because I remembered this Hollywood actress who is currently in jail because she paid and bribed her child's way into one of these elite schools. I don't know if you saw the scandal in the news.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
The
she
last-
paid for her daughter to be able to get into an elite university. And I was asking myself, I said, why would somebody have to pay so much money to get their child into a school that the child cannot qualify for? So she bribed her way into the school. I said, how do you think the child would cope when they cannot get into the school on merit? Because when you get into a school that you're not capable of coping with due to the fact that other people there got in on merit, you cannot keep up. You end up dropping out. She's currently
Exactly.
in jail. The girl is miserable, and everybody right now is not the better for it. So
Yeah.
when I read your book, I laughed. I said, this is the book that this woman, probably she had read it before she sent her child to that school and bribed her way there. She won't be in jail today.
Yeah, because actually something that people sometimes forget is that there is a big trap behind the degree. That degree that we hold, there is a big trap behind that. Most people right now are scared to go into conversion. If I can say conversion is like switch or start all over again because of the degree they hold. Um, I have a master degree in economy. As I was saying, I have nothing against specialization or something like that. I have a master degree in geography or history or those kind of stuff. But when the person find out that actually that degree cannot help him
To
feed his
fulfill
family
purpose
or
or solve
fulfill
a
purpose.
problem.
Yeah. And sometimes the person feel like it's too late for the people feel like it's too late for them to think about the conversion. Like when I say the conversion is like start all over again
To
because
switch.
switch like yeah to say okay right now that this thing didn't work I have maybe I can start all over again and try maybe to discover what I can learn to adjust myself for me to be able for me to be fulfilled. Yeah, so that the Dr. Miles Morowan they say that he doesn't like to put all those things in the wall. Why? Because he say your degree can be one of your best hindrance, can be one of your best
Barriers.
barrier to progress. And that's what a lot of people live in. That's where a lot of people live in. They can't move forward anymore. They can't change stuff. They can't readjust themselves based because of the degree they have, and they will spend all their life just miserable, complaining. I have this, but I can't find work on this. I have this, but I can't do this. Yeah. So
That's true. What will you say to people who say, I'm going to go to university to find myself? I'm going to go to university to try to find my purpose. What would you say to such a person?
oh, something that we should understand is like you can't find yourself in school. You can't find yourself in university. University is not a place. We went to university. We know how university works. It's not really a place where you can find yourself in. If you have the opportunity to find yourself in, it's after wasting a lot of time. You remember when I said in the beginning that at the end, before someone graduate, he can change his program 3 times before he find actually what really fits him. Me, the advice I will give to someone is to find yourself before going to university. University should just be a platform that will help you catapult, that will be a platform that will equip you to go for what you discover about yourself already. But if you decide to find yourself in university, you will waste time, you will waste money, and at the end of the day, you might even never find yourself.
All right. Hope you
Yeah.
guys have heard it. You're hearing it from somebody who has been through it. And it's best to learn from other people's experience. A wise man once said the best way to learn is to learn from other people's experiences. They say it's only a fool that wants to experience everything for themselves because
Yeah.
they might not end up surviving some of the brutal experiences that they might go through in life. So the title of the book is 10 Wrong Reasons to Go to School. Please go on Amazon, order for that book right now. It's almost Christmas. Buy it for your friends, buy it for your family, and help young people especially to get this book, because if they get it and they get the lessons in it, they will be so productive. You won't have to worry about your child being successful. Even if your child says they want to go into something like botany or making of which involves flowers, they would go in there with a purpose. Whatever they choose, as long as it is something that they've been created for and they are going with a purpose to solve a problem, they would be successful at it. Because Frank, I don't know if you've noticed this, in Africa, most people go for courses that they believe that has a good salary. So they don't care if the child is talented in one thing or the other. They always just want to end up sending their kids to school to do either law or medicine or some kind of engineering, because they know that when this child graduates, they would get a job, and that's all that matters. What would you
Yeah.
say to such parents?
I was just like, you know, most of our African parents, they just believe that where there is money, there is fulfillment. Where there is money, there is joy. There is joy, where there is money, there is everything. I strongly believe that sometimes parents should step up a little bit, should lay back a little bit, and give the opportunity to their child to choose whatever they want to do with their life. Parent can only be advisor. Parent can only be support. And really, some parents don't really advise their kids that much because you can't behave or think beyond your level of understanding. So sometimes I can't really blame some parents because that's all they have been exposed to. You have to go to you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an engineer, because over there is money. You'll be able to take care of your family, take care of this, take care of that. But at the end of the day, how many doctors, even right now, do you know who are actually successful, who are actually making money? Or how many lawyer, or how many doctor do you know who are actually good doctor? Because in the world we live in right now, it's easy to get whatever you want. If you want to be a doctor right now just because of money, there's a lot of shortcut to have that certificate and become a doctor. It's so easy, it's so easy right now. That's why you will see some doctor, they have 6-7 figures salary, but they are killers. You will see some lawyer, some engineer who build houses that collapse on the people and kill hundreds of people. Why? Because they went there not really because that's what they wanted to do. They don't do that really because they love it, but because somehow they have an external pressure that if you go there, you make money, you will have this, you will have that. Check, for example, how many Hollywood star, just an example, Hollywood star commit suicide. If all of us we see that money is connected to like financial success is connected to success, how many Hollywood star you will see they have all those mansions, they have all these things, all those type, but you will see the person died from overdose, died from drug, died from this, commit suicide. Why? Because at the end of the day, some people understood that they got to where they are today just because they were trying to fulfill someone else's dream. And most of the time, most of the kids, most of the students try to fulfill their parents' dream. And parents should understand that each one of us on this planet, we are absolutely different. We come on a different mission with a different purpose. And parents should just be supportive advisor for their kids. We should not send our kids to study medicine if he doesn't like medicine, or he doesn't love medicine, or he doesn't see himself doing medicine, just because there is money in there. That's how we end up having killers instead of doctors. Yeah.
I hope parents are listening. Please share this video so that a lot of parents can get this advice of not pushing their kids into fulfilling their own dreams, and they would actually push their kids to fulfill the dreams that they were created with and the purpose that they were created for. They shouldn't force a car to be in the boat. I believe that to become a boat, or to act like a boat, there is a parable, or there's a chapter where you talk about fish and its success rate and how it should not be compared to, people who are on land, for example, animals on land, because it's meant to be in the sea. And I like what you said the other time, and I would like to just reiterate it to people, because as you were talking, I felt like that point needs to be made yet again, that people should not be afraid to start again. If you've not found your purpose, and right now you might even have a good job, who knows, but you might be miserable doing that job. Like you talked about those in Hollywood, they've got money, they've got fame, they've got houses, cars, they have the best of things, but they are miserable. A lot of them commit suicide. Why? Because many of them, of course, there is a fate aspect. There is no God in their lives. But at the same time, many of them are not living their purpose. Many of them don't have fulfillment from what they do. They only do it as a job, or because they have a talent for it. So it doesn't satisfy them on a deep level enough for them to be able to survive and live a happy life. So don't be afraid to start again. If you have gone through school and you see that you've discovered your purpose, and you see that what you're doing right now is not what you were called to do, you can start studying again, go to schools, that would help you sharpen your skills in the direction of what you really were created for, and you'll be able to begin to solve problems in that area. I've seen people with 2 or 3 degrees, or I've seen people who go in for a second degree, even in their 30s and in their 40s, and when they graduate, it's like they have a new lease of life. You were here in Ukraine. You saw people who were drug addicts, people who were alcoholics, who ended up graduating from high school in their
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah.
And but you can see how productive they are because
Yeah.
they found God, they found purpose, and when they went to school, they were so focused, they were so energized, and they were so, you know, determined to solve a problem. So when they went in there, they came out and they became world changers. They started changing
Yeah.
society. And when they tell people I've been in prison, I was a drug addict, those guys are finding it difficult to believe because
Yeah.
you can see them, they're like, I was never a drug addict, but I'm not as productive as this guy.
Exactly.
I finished high school at the right age, but I'm not as energetic as this guy. Why? Because purpose fuels you with passion, it fuels
Yeah.
you with zeal, it fuels you with solutions, and you're a more productive person in society. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's an important lesson that people need to learn. It is not too late to start again.
To start
If
again.
what you're doing right now is not fulfilling you, find your purpose and then begin to chase it. Forget about your degree. God is not going to ask us what degree we have. Nobody cares what degree Mark
Yeah.
Zuckerberg has or Bill
Yeah.
Gates has. Nobody cares what degree even Dr. Sunday has. What they
Yeah.
care about is what product they are bringing
Yeah.
into the world. Like
On
you,
the,
for example, you've written this book. Nobody cares what degree you have. I'm not sure anybody
exactly.
knows what it, nobody is talking about your degree. They're talking about the
Exactly.
product that you're
Yeah.
able to bring in, the solutions that you're able to give to society. And that
Yeah.
is what matters the most because
Yeah.
life is about problems and
So,
those who solve them.
them.
Others in
Yeah.
between who just whine and complain, they end up doing not much, and that's not the way we were created to live.
They do
So,
live. Yeah.
any final words about your book before we go?
Before we go, the only thing I could say is like, as you were saying, it doesn't matter if right now you feel like you are overwhelmed, you don't know what you can do with your life, you don't know where to start. If you are in school right now and you feel like that's what you are studying right now is not really doesn't really it's not what you were supposed to study. It's not late. You still have the opportunity to start all over again. You still have the opportunity to take another direction. If you are alive right now, if you had the opportunity to wake up this morning, it means that God didn't finish. He's not done with you. He's not done with you yet. So he strongly believe that up to now, you still have the opportunity to change the course of your life and start all over again. If you are a student, if you are in high school and you are about to go to university, don't go there without discovering yourself. Don't go there without discovering why you want to go, what do you want to study, what problem you are going to solve. Or if you are university already, you can still do all of that and change the course of your life. And this book will help you with that. This book, I wrote it not based on somebody else's experience. I'm a student. I go to university as I'm talking to you. But since I discover all those things, I don't just go to university for the sake of going. I go there with the purpose. I know that what I'm studying in university will help me solve a particular problem. And right now we are kind of working on something that by God's grace, next summer we will implement it here in the US, that we work most of the time with young adults to help them discover their purpose, discover their purpose before going to university. So
Fantastic.
it's not late for you. It's not late. It's not too late. Just take a deep breath and start all over again.
That's wonderful. I look
Yeah.
forward to the results from that project, and I believe it to be a huge success. I did something like that briefly when I went back to Nigeria, and it was amazing
Yeah.
because we have so much talent in our countries. We have people who are full of life, full of energy, full of zeal, but there's no direction, because they
Yeah.
don't know their
Yeah.
purpose. So when they
Yeah.
find their purpose, it's easier to direct them. It's
Direct
easier for
them.
them to have goals. It's easier for them to come up with plans. It's easier
Yeah.
for them to work in a more constructive manner. Many of them, it's even easier to control their behavior because many of the people who misbehave, many of the young people who are, delinquents in the way they act and stubborn and nuisance, is because there is nowhere for them to channel their energies into constructively. So I believe
Yeah.
that when someone finds their purpose, it changes everything about your life.
Everything. Yeah.
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 So today we're talking about 10 wrong reasons to go to school. And we're finding that one of them should not be to find yourself. It should not be to
Yeah.
make money. Once you
Yeah.
know how to read, you know how to write, you're done with high school, then
Yeah.
your life is really about to begin. And
Just
you must know why you're here. You must know why you've been created. If you don't even believe in God, that's fine. But you were put here for a purpose. Try to make sure you understand on a fundamental and on a deep level why that purpose is, and then everything else will be able to sort itself out from there, because you'll be able to become a problem. You'll be a plus to the world, not
yeah.
just somebody sucking and taking away
Talking.
the resources from
Yeah.
our world. So thank you very much, Frank. Please
Thank
go
you.
to Amazon. Is there any other platform where we can get the book?
For now it's on, yeah, it's on Amazon,
For now,
and for
just
people
Amazon.
on Amazon. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Those in Africa, you've not put it on Okada Books yet or anything like that?
No, no, not yet. Not yet.
All right. I
Not
think you
yet.
need to put it there for those who are in Africa so that they can download it and have
Okay.
access to it. There's also a new platform called BAM Books. It's like
Okay.
Amazon Kindle. When you
Mm-hmm.
subscribe, you can read books for free, as many as possible every month. So
Okay.
please explore some of these options so that those back at home who really need this stuff, because I know you're really looking at the United States right now because that's where you are. But
Yeah.
this book, I'm thinking of Africa, I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Nigerians, Cameroonians,
Yeah.
Togolese, Ghanaians. They need this because we need to build our continent. And for us to
Yeah.
build it, we need people to understand their purpose. Because, for example, when somebody understands their purpose, they will not mind being a bricklayer. They will not mind.
Mm-hmm.
They will not mind being, a furniture maker. But
Mm-hmm.
these are things that are looked down on in our society. Because in our
Yeah.
society, if you're not dressed in suit like me and sitting in an office, they look down on you. But
Yeah.
when that's what you've been created to do, you will go to school to study that thing instead of wasting time doing medicine or studying
Mm-hmm.
law.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how many lawyers are doing furniture making today and how many furniture makers are doing law,
Exactly.
and they are
Exactly.
miserable. If you meet lawyer,
Exactly.
sometimes I meet lawyers and I meet successful people, they are so unhappy, and I wonder, why is this guy so unhappy? But then I remember that this
Yeah.
guy might be
Yeah.
smart enough to make money, but because he's not living out his purpose, he has
Yeah.
problems. So we really need solutions in Africa. And
Yeah.
please buy this book, read it, send it to as many young people as possible. It will save them a world of hurt. It will save you
Yeah.
money, it will save you time, it will save you energy, it will save you a lot of psychological trauma, and it will really help you, begin to really live your life purposefully from a very young age. And for those of you who have already advanced in age, it's not too late to start again.
Yeah. You
So
start
one
again.
more time, thank you, Frank, for coming, and engage with him on his Facebook and on his social media platforms. And I believe that you'll be glad you did. All right, till the next time that we have you on
Thank.
for your next book, we're proud of you. We're very happy that you're such a productive person. Keep up the great job. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, sir.
All right, bye for now. All right,
Bye.
ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, that was Frank Mbedja all the way from the United States. He's Cameroonian. If you could hear the accent from the way he spoke, he speaks English and French, and he's able to write so prolifically in English, and that's something that we should all admire. And he's able to put his thoughts and his into words and into these books. This is the second one that he's coming up with, and I believe that we need to support him, and those lessons in that book will really help to change our lives. All right, we're talking about people who are starting later in life. DSA has a book for you, which is how to regain your lost years. So that's a book that you can buy, and to help you to be able to pick up from wherever you are right now to begin to live a purposeful and a meaningful life. Now, it's not about money. Like we said, it's not about position or status in society. It's about what you were made to do. All right. We've got some mentorship programs here for you. And the first one is Who Am I, Why Am I Here? Which was the foundational principle of what we spoke about today, which is finding why you are in this world. If you don't understand why you were created, this is a mentorship group that would help change all of that. The day you begin to really live is the day you discover why you're in this world. Up until that point, you're just surviving because you're just going through the motions. But when you discover why you're alive, everything changes. You begin to really live purposefully and with an intention to solve a problem, to make humanity better, to make a difference, which is the reason why God put us here in the first place. So DSA is waiting for you to join this group if you want to find your purpose and why you are alive. This is something that every human being who will be productive must figure out before they leave this world. All right, those of us who want to make money, there's a group for you as well. If you want to become a millionaire, there's a group for millionaires. Making money is a skill. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You don't have to be the most ambitious person in the world. There are skills that are required for you to be able to make money. There are techniques, there are values that you need to have to be able to become a millionaire. You'll be taught all of those things in this Millionaires Club. Please write to mentorship@godembassy.org and you'll be able to get into these programs. Same with the Who Am I, Why Am I Alive? Write to mentorship@godembassy.org. If you want to join the Who Am I mentorship group, you can write and say, I want to join the Who Am I mentorship group. If you want to join the Becoming a Millionaire group, write to the same address, mentorship@godembassy.org, and say, hey, I want to become a millionaire and I want to join this club, and they will tell you what to do. And I believe that as you follow through with every lesson that you're taught, sooner than later, you would become a millionaire. It's not just something you dream about, it's something you have to work on. One of my favorite footballers, Cristiano Ronaldo, said something. He said, dreams are not things that you do in your sleep. He said, they are things that keep you awake and working hard towards them. So, what are you working hard towards today? What problem are you solving? You must be a productive person. Don't just go through the motions. Life is not about enjoyment. Life is not about vacations. Life is not about gadgets and comfort. Life is about solutions, solving problems, and making the world a better place. All right. Those of you who want to engage with DSA, please go to his YouTube page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. You will see a whole lot of videos. You will see a whole lot of teachings on prayer, on marriage, on making money, on knowing God, on faith, on building your self-confidence up. There are so many topics on becoming a father, on becoming a mother, on understanding how to parent kids. He has a whole lot of topics there for you. He talks about pastoring, how to be a good professional, how to plan, how to build systems. He has extensively taught a lot about different topics. So please engage with him on his platforms and just enjoy these things for free. The things that he teaches, a lot of people go to pay thousands of dollars to life coaches and different institutes to get them, but he's offering them to you for free. Please take advantage of these things, and I believe that you have a whole lot of testimonies to share. Those of you who joined us earlier in the year in May, when DSA was celebrating his birthday, you could hear the stories and the testimonies of people who through these teachings were able to transform their lives, and the projects they were able to start and the things they were able to begin, solving in their society. The way many of them began to really live their lives. We had people even in their 60s who said, I'm just beginning to live. So it's better late than never. Begin to engage with these, tools and all of these messages and all of these teachings that DSA has made available, and you will be happy that you did. In fact, your life will never remain the same. We get testimonies on a daily basis of people who are just thanking God that they found DSA's messages and how useful it has become to them. All right, so today we're done, and we're going to be back same time next week with another unique guest who is going to be talking to us all the way from the UK. You don't want to miss that segment, and make sure you invite your friends, share this video, and we'll be back here same time next week. So up until then, take care. God bless you. Remember to be productive. Remember to pursue, to find, and then pursue your purpose, because that is why you're here in this world. Bye from me, Joshua Amatare, live here in Kyiv. God be with you till we see you again next week. Thank you.